right, so everything's done. Carla, did you download the final weather?
I did.
Excellent. All done.
All done.
It's time to go.
It's 9 o'clock and we're on our way. Saying goodbye to Bora Bora and French Polynesia.
Bonjour!
How do you say goodbye in French? Au revoir.
Au revoir, French Polynesia. I will miss your madeleines and your French baguettes.
Going through the pass, and looks like we have a little squall right in front of us. Just to say hello. Welcome to the Pacific Ocean.
We have some big swell today.
We're rolling.
We're rolling. What do you want me to say? Sunrise on our first morning here at sea. So coming up on 22 hours out, making good progress towards Fiji here. I spent a lot of time motoring last night because of the winds, but they're starting to settle in the direction we want to go and be a little more consistent. So we're sailing and should be sailing for a while. I just keep looking, it's just so pretty.
Getting ready for his night watch.
I am. A little cool out here.
It's chilly. So, day one, how we doing?
We're doing good. Pretty big swells out here. A little rough, but we are motoring. But we're making progress, heading to a waypoint so we can turn and catch the wind. I'd say generally pretty good. Well, it is a beautiful sunrise on our third day of passage. Making good time. We had winds 10 to 12 overnight and from our nose, so doing a bit of a beat into the wind here, but not bad. The seas are easy. So just kind of running here. We've made 250 nautical miles since we departed from Bora Bora Yacht Club about 48 hours ago, a little less than 48 hours ago. So averaging, not where we'd like to be. Probably in the 130 will be what it'll be running down to now. We'd like to pick up some speed today and just waiting for the winds to build.
I want to talk a little bit about the weather because we're having a little bit of everything right now. We started with really light winds sailing from Tahiti, and we knew that the wind was actually going to fill in from the east-northeast, and it's done that. And over the last couple of days, it's actually switched over to the north. The other issue we're going to have probably in about 8 to 10 hours is the wind's going to die down, and we're going to have a series of thunderstorms kind of rolling through. So we're going to have to deal with that for a little bit. And then finally, after about 4 or 5 days of sailing, the winds are actually going to go back to your standard southeast trade winds, and then we should have the sleigh ride all the way to Fiji. They're going to get a little higher than normal. We're expecting somewhere, around the 25 to 30 knot gusts for at least a day or two, so we're going to have a bumpy ride. And then the closer we get to Fiji, the more they calm down.
So you'll note I have my foulies on even though I'm in the enclosure. It is snarky and we need to treat our enclosure. As you can see, getting a lot of water through it, but it is blowing. I'll let the helmsman give you an update before she goes down to put some dry clothes on.
Yeah, we got 20 knots on the beam. We're flying, but it's
South Pacific, they said. It's a milk run, they said. It's all downwind sailing. Coconuts, baguettes, sunshine. They lied.
Well, today has been windy, but knock on wood, somewhat uneventful. Just a little bumpy. I'm still sick. Kevin, show us your fingers. Cheeto fingers.
Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Cheetos and wraps.
So I believe we are through this front, and tomorrow should be sunny days. Two days, kind of miserable weather. We finally have blue skies behind us. So now all we need to do is sail through a little bit of a gale in a couple of days, and we'll be in Fiji.
Just a gale.
It's just a gale.
Good. Just a gale.
I'm still sick, so I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna suntan my belly.
Kevin's gonna enjoy the sunset because it's gonna be beautiful tonight.
It's really bright right this moment. It's too bright.
Are you having fun?
Oh yeah, always having fun.
What are we doing out here?
It's like a Volvo ocean race broke out. Cruisers.
Look at those waves.
This is no good. It keeps blowing the cheese right off my crackers. This is not our kind of sailing.
Okay, so we should have taken video earlier, but you know, we were fearing our lives because we had 35 to 40 knots sustained for 2 or 3 hours this morning, and just a lot of shit that went wrong. But we got Gargoyle turned around and moving forward, and we're both exhausted. We have 12 hours left of gale force winds, so 25 to 30 knots. And hopefully the forecast say at midnight it starts to calm down, and then by the morning we're down to like under 20.
Whoa, Sammy. Look at you. So what are you guys doing? It's blowing 35 knots outside. It's blowing a gale. And this is what the kids do. They just kind of chillax. I came inside to give them a treat, give them a little snackage. Carla and I are both in the cockpit because it is very rough. But these two, they just need a little company every once in a while, don't you see them? And they're smart. They know which side of the boat to sit on. They are relaxing inside while we are up in the cockpit trying not to get killed. Dean's trying to figure out why I'm not pointing the camera at him. Right, Dean? There's the camera. So Carla and I are in the cockpit because it's pretty rough, very rough. We clocked 17.1 knots speed a little while ago surfing down a wave. So that is incredibly fast. Big seas down here in the South Pacific. And we've got a gale blowing through for the next 24 hours. So we're gonna see sustained 30, 35 knot winds, gusts in the 40 to 50 knot range. So it looks like we'll be sleeping upstairs while these guys make their nest. We'll not see him. She's still looking for some more treats. Right, Sam?
Here we go. It's almost sunset. Almost sunset. Kevin is hiding because our enclosure won't withstand the wind, and it is pouring rain. Maybe this is the last squall of the night. What do you think, sweetie? Good morning. It was a long night last night. We had sustained winds up to 30 to 35 knots. Huge seas, which we still have. And you'll notice the cushions are kind of like laying around the cockpit. When Kevin finally went down last night, we both stayed up in the cockpit for the first shift. Then I sent him down to get some sleep. This huge wave came in and actually flooded our entire cockpit. We lost our logbook, our Kindles. Luckily, our phones are in waterproof cases, but we would have lost our phones too. It just like basically washed the entire. So we're doing a little triage this morning, trying to get everything dried out. On top of the cockpit getting totally swamped, we actually have these fiberglass guys. They sit on the back of the stern and cover the holes for the air intake for our engine, and also the air outtake for our engine compartment. And I was looking at it yesterday, and I'm like, they look kind of loose. So I grabbed one, proceeded to tape up the exhaust fan, because we need a bunch of salt water in it. But before I could get back to the edge of the boat, we actually lost the other one. So we're going to see one of these from yesterday as well. So yesterday was not a good day. It's going to be nice to have a calm, I think we've got a calm 72 hours, 48. And then the winds pick up again, but it's pushing us along quite well. And today, these big rollers are going to be gone. So we go from 4 meter seas down to 3 meter seas, which is going to be so nice. We've got about 850 nautical miles left. So tonight, just before we get really close to Tonga, we're going to do a portside jibe and start heading up towards Fiji. But this has been a very long trip. We have never been in conditions like this before. Carla is a trooper, as always. She takes 100 times more than her crew does. We're talking about today. Today was a much better day.
Today was a very good day. Very nice. Sunny day, blue skies, the seas calmed down. Probably about noon we lost about a meter of the swell, so that made the ride a little bit better as well. So
and now we're slowly cruising to Fiji. It's a beautiful sunset. It's a perfect trade wind day.
hopefully it sticks around.
Hopefully we stay for the next 5 days.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
It's a good day though. Now we can get some sleep tonight because we were both very much sleep deprived last night.
Although it's going to be a rolly one.
Why don't you show everybody the sunset?
Will do.
Wow, good morning. Torrential downpour just hopefully coming to an end. Moving my stuff here so this can get wet on the seat. But you'll see the sun out behind me. Last night on my watch from 6 to midnight I had just downpour after downpour, and Carla said after midnight nothing was dry, so it must be me. Cursed. Sun's out behind us. We just listened to Bill Withers' Lovely Day, which is a tradition here on the boat, and it is looking pretty lovely. Now we're all washed off, so let's see what kind of sail this is going to be.
This huge squall is coming up behind us. Here it comes. Look at this thing. It's enormous. We're getting smart in our young sailing age, and we're all reefed down so that if it goes up to 40 knots, we're not fighting to get stuff reefed in. And then once it's on us and we've got a true indication of the wind, we can always shake out a reef. But reef early, reef big, reef early. We learned that lesson the hard way a couple of days ago. Good morning, we have just finished day 8. Last night was exciting, and we had winds sustained between 25 and 30 knots, a little over 3 meter seas, so Finally this morning it has calmed down a little bit. We're gonna shake out some reefs. We basically kind of split shifts up. We did like what, 3-hour shifts last night? 3-hour shifts so that when you went downstairs you were, whoa! Mamma mia!
That's what we're talking about,
That's what we're talking about, folks.
We were just saying how much calmer it is this morning.
We were doing 3-hour shifts because after about 3 hours you were so exhausted that if you went downstairs you just grabbed onto the mattress and you could actually fall asleep for a couple of hours before the motion of the boat stirred you awake again.
This is the worst trip I've ever been on. Do, 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 do.
Kids are all snuggled in this morning. We found a good spot where they can tuck in and not fall off. You guys just about done with this stuff, huh? Yeah? Us too. You guys are so good. You guys are so good. Yeah. Little monkeys. Aw, there's love for you. The sun is setting on day 11. We've actually had a really good day today. The winds have been consistent between 15 and 20 knots. So we've been able to put some distance in. We're just under 300 nautical miles from Fiji. We have been jibing back and forth, and one of the reasons why is because of the direction of the wind. If you look at predict wind, you can see the wind lines and you can see our direction. Here's Fiji over here, and pretty much the winds are coming directly to where we want to go, and Gargoyle is not a great downwind sailor. So we've been utilizing the pole a little bit to go down to about 150 degrees and jibing back and forth to try to get in the right direction. And now we're finally on the last jibe to head into Fiji. But if you take a look at our track, it looks a little crazy. Right here is where we actually grab the trade winds, and you can see that we have been tacking kind of back and forth on little jaunts just to be able to get into the right final jibe to get into Fiji. Day 12, we are about 200 nautical miles away from our destination, so we've got about 36 hours to go. This is kind of the hardest part of any passage, is you know you're so close, but you got this last little bit. Right now the winds have actually died. We've got a little bit of a lull for 4 or 5 hours. So we're going to motor and hopefully put us kind of in the right direction and closer to Fiji, so when the wind picks up around midnight tonight, we will be able to put the sails back in action when the wind comes in. But it's been a long, difficult sail. It's good to hear the motor running, actually. As sad as that sounds, usually we love to have the sails up, but we're just kind of wanting this passage to be over. Final day. The winds have been super light, so we've been motoring. We've got about 90 nautical miles to go. The clouds have finally lifted, and we can actually see Viti Levu, which is the island that we're going to. I think the pronunciation's right. But yeah, it's good to actually see where we're going to. It's it's been a long passage, so we're just really wanting to get to our destination. We're probably burning a little more diesel than we would typically, but it's going to be good by this time tomorrow to be hopefully checked in and just having a cocktail and relaxing for a bit. Sunset 567.
This will be our 51st night of passage in the last 5 months.
since March 1st.
51 days.
51 days at sea we'll have spent.
Wow.
That's this is our biggest sailing season ever for Gargoyle. Good morning. So it is the end of the passage. We're making our way through the pass here into the main island of Fiji, about a quarter of a mile wide, and we just want to make sure we get through it safely. We've got a small amount of tide. Looks like about 1 knot of inflow at this time.
And the sun is coming up over the island. It's beautiful.
18 nautical miles to Buda.
18 nautical miles.
Bula, Bula. Buda Point Marina. This is the sailing vessel Gargoyle. Over.
Well, Buda Marina. Bula, Captain.
Bula. We are just outside the marina near the buoy and just arriving to check in.
Well, Gargoyle, Captain, if this, or you can pick up the white mooring outside, the quarantine mooring, Captain, and wait for the instructions. We'll notify the officials, Captain.
Roger that. We'll pick up the mooring.
You can bring the boat in. You need to
Fenders on the starboard side? Okay.
And that's where you're gonna be
Okay.
next to our custom dock.
Perfect.
We'll be waiting on the custom dock.
Sounds
right.
very good. We'll be watching for you. We'll be in there momentarily. Welcome already.
Yes.
Oh, best welcome.